What's going on, guys? We are here with today's guest, Vinny D, and you're watching Unscripted. All right, welcome back, guys. We are here with the one and only Vinny D. And I say it like that, brother, because, well, first off, what I find very, very cool about today's episode with you is that this is our first time we meet. I think we've had a couple of messages on Facebook at most. We know absolutely nothing about each other.
Zero.
So this I'm super, super pumped and excited. And first of all, thank you so much for your time, man.
Hurt my hand, so I'll shake you with this one.
You hurt your hand.
Yeah, I ran into my door.
So I got a question. Vinny D, that is your professional name?
Yes, sir.
Do you mind giving us your real name?
Yeah, no, I can't. Sorry.
All right, cool. Let's go ahead and move on from there. So, I said the one and only, and here's the thing, man. Like, you do a lot of things in the music scene and the community. You got your radio show going on. You do a couple things with, with the bands. I've seen you, be an MC for different events and stuff like that. Talk to me a little bit. I mean, because I know nothing about you, man. A quick background about,
this whole, the Vinny D, the MC services, Vinny D, the on-air personality, all began, probably about almost 4 years ago now on Q94.5.
Okay.
Was my first on-air personality job as a DJ, which was a dream come true, and much less doing something I've always wanted to do because, I got so tired of hearing people say, man, you sound like you could be on the radio.
Right.
You sound like you could be doing some kind of voice work. So what I did was I applied at the Q for 5 years, and I didn't so much as even get a call back. Mm-hmm. And one day, me and my daughter were watching TV, and I saw an ad for on-air personality at Introvision, which was for 107.9 actually Mix, and they said send in a sound clip, and maybe you'll get a job. Basically, one of those those kinds of things.
Okay.
So I sent it a sound clip, and 8 hours later, I got a phone call.
Wow.
And I was like, this is crazy. For 5 years, I've applied here on paper, not thinking, maybe I should just send a sound clip in. This isn't like a job where I'm going to get like a desk work. This is a voice job.
Right.
And sure enough, I walked in, and Alex Duran was the program director at the time. He had a morning show on 107.9, and he took one look at me, and he goes, why is this guy reading for 107.9? Look at him. Get him the 94.5.
Oh, man, that's awesome.
So I read for 94.5, and I was really nervous. He sent me home 3 times. And
wow.
And on my 4th time, he was like, all right, man, you got the job.
Dude, that is so cool,
So,
man.
and now it led up from there. The budget cuts, we kind of, a whole bunch of people got let go, including myself. I went over to 104.9. That didn't work out as well as I wanted, hoped. Still a really cool station. Wish them all the best. But now we're RGB Titan Radio, and we're running the shit now, so it's cool.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about this new radio show. Is it you hitting up the whole entire thing? How is that working?
RGB Titan Radio is me, Fred, my one of my partners, Fred, and one of my partners, Sebi, who's up in San Antonio.
Okay.
He runs like the logistics, the paperwork, all the contracts, all the lawyer stuff, all the legal. Fred and I do everything down here, and we actually run the show. Okay. He's the producer, and I'm just the on-air personality, and I go out and get advertising money if I can, which today I'm going to actually try and hit up some advertising dollars here at the G-Mar cook-off tournament.
That's so cool, man. And what does the radio show consist of?
It's strictly local music.
That is so rad,
yeah,
man.
in order to be on our airwaves, you have to be from the 956, and your music has to be original.
Dude, that is so cool, man. That's what kind of really inspired, the show that we're doing is, talk to some of these bands, get to know who they are, find out when they started, all the stuff in between, and where they're going. So you guys are strictly just local bands, bands here from the 956. There's a lot of some great bands that are doing some incredible things.
I gotta tell you, man, I'm sitting around in the, when we're doing our live broadcast, and Fred's on the other side of the computer, so he sees everything that's going on, and I'm constantly like, who is this? Who is this? Some artist that I've never even heard of that sent us a whole bunch of music, and they're just like solo artists, and their stuff is just ridiculously good. Yeah, so I'm really happy, and it's also going to give the chance to the musicians to come in and sit down and talk and actually have a real interview.
Yeah.
A real sit down. It's their time. They get to co-host. They get to pick the music. They get to talk about whatever they want to talk about.
Dude.
Yeah, so we're just getting rolling, and I have high hopes for it all. A lot of stuff actually just formulated last night, so
Dude,
we got a lot of
that
stuff
is
on the
super
horizon.
awesome, man. So, okay, so Has anything been put out yet for the radio show, or is it just everything still like in the works?
We're live. You can go right now in your browser on your phone. We're working on an app right now. RGVTitanRadio.com. We're streaming live right now. There is a local act playing right now as we speak.
That is so cool.
So what's really cool is if somebody wants to come down here and they're from out of town, maybe they see it like in an airport. Hey, it's the sound of the 956. Our slogan is "We are the 956."
Dude, that's
yeah.
cool,
So
man.
it's cool for people from out of town, or if you're out of town and you miss home, you get to hear the sounds of the 956. So,
wow.
I'm thinking it's gonna work out pretty well.
I mean, I think that will, man, because I've been involved in the music scene for so many years, and I've always said, like, man, there's so much talent. They don't get enough radio time.
Yes.
They need that exposure. And, back in the day, I was like, man, imagine if we had a radio station just for our local bands. And, man, to see this actually coming into fruition with you guys, I mean, the sky's the limit with that.
It really is. And it's really all on the artists. Like, I'm just the guy that's talking in between songs every now and then. The artists are really what's keeping the listeners in. So that's cool.
That is really good, man. And like I said, there's some heavy hitters right now.
Big time.
Last week's episode with And the Hero Prevails, heavy
boys.
hitter right there. Troy and all those guys are doing great things, man. And there's so many people that we can talk about as far as, the bands go. But you yourself, you're also a musician, and you're involved in a lot of different projects and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Talk to me a little bit about what you do.
Well, I'm personally, first and foremost, my love is bass. I'm a bass player.
Okay.
I've been a bass player for as long as I've been playing music, and I like to pick up the guitar and strum, especially when I'm drinking. It's fun. But right now I play in a band called Turbine Drive, and we're basically just a cover band that does private shows and private gigs, and we sit down. We're that band that'll play for 4 hours, take a couple breaks here and there or whatever. But man, I'm just up for really whatever sounds good. Really, I don't like to write to a genre. Whatever sounds good is what I'm about.
All right, that's good. So then going back to the radio show, then you guys just put all genres out there, right?
Everything and anything. You could be listening to Pantheon from Brownsville, which is black metal legends. Then you could cut over to Evolve, which is hip hop, ridiculously really good hip hop. And then you could go into Ray Perez, which is kind of like folk indie. And then you can get on The Hero Prevails. You can, rock. So it's everything, anything. We're encouraging every artist, whether you're a Spanish singer, Tejano, Norteño, country, anything. We are the 956. There's no restrictions on it. So
dude, that is so cool.
Yeah.
One more time, if you guys are watching, there's a bunch of you local bands and stuff like this. One more time, what is the website to get to it?
You go to rgvtitanradio.com to listen to it. And if you want to send in music, all you got to do, there's no limit, there's no cost. The email address is playmymusic@rgvtitanradio.com.
Man, that is so cool, dude. I mean, that really just, that does something for me personally,
Well,
man.
I'm glad,
Because,
I'm glad.
I was in a band back in the day, and, you got to grind to get to the, to even get signed and get there and stuff like that.
Even to record it, because it costs money. And
Oh, it
we're
does,
not
that's
making
right.
money. As an original band, you don't make money.
Exactly.
Yeah, so...
I think this will definitely help out a lot of up-and-coming bands that are, do it yourself, man.
Even if it's a little ego boost. Throughout the week, you're listening and you're like, oh man, I just heard Homeboy's band. And then boom, there's your music. Because I even put in some of my stuff from high school.
Really?
One of my bands, Solarium, from way back in the day. Every now and then I'll hear stuff from '04 and I'm like, wow, this is super cool. So yeah, I encourage everybody, if you've ever written anything, it doesn't matter if it's from 10, 15 years ago, send it in and we'll play it.
Man, you know what? I actually probably got to get back with, I'll talk to my old, the old band that I used to be and be like, hey, dude, let's just throw something on there,
seriously,
man.
That's what it's about.
And then even now, I think this is something that I'm going to, definitely look to in the future as far as a resource, because, the Valley has a lot of new resources now in the scene. Back then, when we were first, in the band and stuff, there wasn't a lot of resources.
Yeah, you didn't even have really all the access on your phone as you did.
Exactly.
Yeah, as you do now.
I mean, technology from 8 years ago is just skyrocketing.
Absolutely.
It's growing every single day.
That's how RGV Titan Radio began. They were ahead of their time, and people just could not access it as easily as they can now.
Yeah.
So right now, it's so much more relevant, and I'm really glad to be part of it because it was just ahead of its time, and they were still the first one. So it's cool, man.
Definitely. Before we continue the show, I want to give a quick shout out to today's episode sponsor, and that is Widowmaker Studios.
There you go, Widowmaker.
And Widowmaker, right? I got that little tongue twister going on. Joshua Lopez, man, thank you so much for being a part of the show and everything that you do for the RGV. And I know you're really good, close friends with Josh as well.
I actually might be going tonight to go record a little 30-second spot for The Perfused, which was a band I was in, which is family to Josh. That's Andrew Rains, I believe, is his uncle.
Oh, wow.
And we do a lot of stuff together. Josh is just a great guy. I call him the godfather of rock, of the rock scene down here. Actually, music at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, he's a great guy. I'm actually really glad he's tagged on to this episode.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I believe we're going to be bringing him on as well as cool, just man. To catch up with him and stuff like that. And I wanted to ask you about your band, Perfused. Are you?
No, that was the band I was in.
I'm
in the band Turbine Drive, but the band Perfused, I'm recording a 30-second spot for. They're just a promo piece that they won. They asked me to voice. That's going to run on the queue for a couple of weeks, I guess. And that's cool because I love the music. I recorded with the guys.
Sweet.
Still really enjoy the guys and stuff like that. So when people they're like, oh man, your band, The Perfused, I'm still like, no, I'm not in the band. But dude, seriously, they're a badass band. Like, check them out. Like, it's not one of those awkward kind of like, oh no, it's not one of those. Don't talk about that band.
Yeah, definitely. I need to definitely check them out. I mean, man, there's so much talent.
So much going on right now. Yeah.
Like with
so
you
much.
personally.
No, just musically.
Music in general.
Musically in the valley, there's so. Like right now, you've got bands branching out into like, for example, Dithala. You got what's his name, Joseph Backery, who just made Backery music, and dude, what like that was just great. Like that guy is just branching out his completely different style from what he's playing with his his original band. Tons of like little solo projects going on. I'm in love with it, man. I love it all. I like hearing what it's all about. So
yeah, definitely. I feel like the music scene has become more diverse now than it was, a few years back. Back then, it was always like the hardcore, metalcore, the deathcore stuff, and I feel like it's pulled away from that, which is actually a good thing. And now you're seeing a little bit more diverse of everything.
Yeah.
And I mean that's good because I'm a person that likes I like it all, man.
I like it all. I don't like just metal or punk or rock or country. Like I like everything. A little something for little piece of this, little piece of this, make one badass.
Exactly, man. So as far as being in a cover band, I mean the cover bands are fun and everything. Do you have any plans of going and starting to write original music again, or are you kind of just going to ride with that for the meantime?
Well, for now, it's like the gigs are kind of few and far in between since we're a private gigging band, I guess you could say. But I'm always sitting at home jamming, and I have my own originals that I've written and stuff, like halfway written anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm always down to get into something original again. Always, yeah.
And strictly just bass, and sometimes
no, on
guitar?
Right now, I'm doing anything. Like right now, last night I played my guitar probably for like 2 hours. I didn't even pick up the bass last night, So, yeah, no, anything that sounds good. If it's on the bass, I'll play it. If it's on the guitar, I'll play it. But
awesome.
right now, I guess it's just whatever happens. I'm not trying to make anything happen. Just whatever sounds good.
Yeah, no, definitely. Any future events that you got going on as far as MC? Because I see you a lot of the times that you're MC of a lot of different shows and things that are coming up.
Yeah.
What's in the lineup right now?
Man, the last few weeks have been just crazy busy, which is really good. And I'm really happy I still get called actually, because it's a love-hate thing. When you have an MC, it's like, oh, that guy, he just talks so much, or it's like, man, this guy keeps the thing going, and that's the way I feel about it. But like today, actually, we're here at the GMAR office in McAllen on Nolana, which is the Greater McAllen Association of Realtors. I'm their exclusive MC, so anything they do, they call me up. And today there's actually a cook-off just to raise some money for the the organization, and I'll go out there and talk to people and pretend like I'm important and shake some hands, and then I come inside or we'll stay outside and I'll announce all the winners for the cook-off, and I get to taste test everything.
Oh man, you get to taste test.
Oh yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't have eaten before I got here. I should probably just hold off on eating.
No, because I'm taking this spot, not you. Okay. But so that's today actually. Here in just a few minutes, we're gonna go outside and get started. But actually, man, just did a really good event for the city of Edinburgh. The end of the year, kind of like the bulk of everything just happened. So coming up, man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I had this today. There's a few coming up. I really can't remember.
Did the ALS one already happen?
Oh, there you go. Kiss My ALS 2. See, I was drawing a blank. That's why I need to feed off you.
Yeah.
Kiss My ALS 2. That's the second one. I did the first one last year. No, that is November 16th or 17th.
That's already next week.
Yeah.
That's next week.
Coming
already.
up, yeah. That hasn't happened yet. So we're going to do that. And I believe on December 8th, for Concert Culture, I'll be doing Buddy the Elf's Magical Acoustic Christmas. It was kind of like a follow-up to the Catalina wine mix.
Yeah, yeah. How did that go? The Catalina.
Awesome. This is a show you bring the whole family to. Like,
okay.
It's still the local bands, but there's something like they had free food. They had food you could buy. They had free food for a little while. They had a moon jump. They had giant beer pong with like big 55-gallon drum trash cans. They had a whole bunch of really cool things. They had Papa Scum's barbecue bites, I think it is, something like that. Papa Scum's food is really good. Look him up on Facebook. And it was just like, this is like the future of like being able to bring your family out to a show. And the next one we have headlining is Mark Morales, the singer of Sons of Texas.
Oh, from Sons of Texas, man.
He's going to be doing an acoustic gig. So.
Dude, that's awesome. Yeah, I was actually talking to John yesterday because cool. I was having lunch with my uncle in Corpus during work and stuff like that. And he was like, man, he started talking about Sons of Texas. I was like, dude, those guys are from back home, man. Like, we know those guys, and that's super cool. And I'm actually thinking, I think it's November 30th, I'm going to go up and catch them in Corpus again. I haven't seen the boys in a while, but you got Mark coming out to that show.
Yeah, December 8th coming out.
Man, December 8th, that's it's not too far away.
Not too far away. You got enough time to plan around it.
Yeah. It's I wish I could be out at the shows more than I used to. Like back then when I was younger, I mean, I was always at the shows.
We're adults now, and it's just like, sometimes even like I wish I could go to some shows. Sometimes I have a gig going on and I'm at a bar and I'm like 2 doors downtown and I'm like, man, I really want to go check this show out. So I'll run back and forth, But yeah, we're adults now, so it's kind of hard to make every show.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain shows that I want to check out. I think one of the bands that I want to see here locally is Mind Over Matter.
Oh, dude, I just hosted their EP or the album release. How was that? So great, so great. Those guys are just awesome.
I wanted to go because I don't know if you saw like their custom bands that they did like a raffle for and stuff like that.
My girlfriend was out for blood for those that night. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah, man, I've been wanting to check those guys out. There's another some buddies of mine. Broken Remedy. I'm not sure if you've heard of them.
I might have heard the name. Yeah.
I haven't seen them in a while. I want to check those guys out. I've known those guys for years. So a lot of the people that I'm talking to in these shows, I mean, I've known of people for like 8 years, and now. This is an opportunity for me to get to know these people, and same thing with you, man. I've seen you all over Facebook and everything that you're doing, and just to, sit down and talk with you.
I'm a bit of a Facebook whore.
Hey, but...
You have to be, actually.
I was looking at your Facebook today, and I like what you said. Music is what I do. My voice is who I am. Yeah. Dude, and honestly, that describes exactly who you are, man.
And it's simple because I'm like, man, that's... Yeah, because I can't think of anything else better than that.
But hey, I mean, you're doing great things here for the community. I said, you're involved in a lot of things, and that's why, for me, it was an honor and a pleasure to just have you on, just to talk to you for a little bit, just to see what's going on in your life.
I told you last night, it was my honor because usually I'm sitting there having to think of, stuff to ask people, and I'm just really cool to be sitting here, just like, I ain't got to do shit but answer your questions.
How about this? Why don't you ask me some questions now, right?
I do want to ask you a question.
Go for it, man. Talk to me.
Since this is unscripted, did you think of anything on the way in? Man, you know what? I know it's unscripted, but I got it because I try and do that all the time. It's like, oh well, you know what? You did some research. Oh, I looked up your Facebook, had something to say.
Yeah.
So we're not completely unscripted.
There was a couple things that I thought about that just to kind of maybe build off of.
Yeah, no, I'm just giving you a hard time.
But for the most part, I think the whole concept of the show is just we're gonna sit down, we're gonna talk, nothing fancy, no cutting in between. Like when I messed up, Josh was. Widowmakers. When I could have edited them, let's do that again. But the whole purpose of it is we're just gonna sit down and just make it so relaxed.
This episode being brought to you in part by Widowmaker Studios.
There you go. There's the voice right there, Vinny D for you guys, man. If you guys haven't checked them out, I highly, highly recommend. Look at what this guy's doing. He's doing a lot of things, and he's not doing it just for himself. He's doing it for the local music scene. And nobody asked you to do this. This is something that probably just came out of your heart.
No, man. How can I say it? Back when I was jamming on the scene in 2004, my first local band, we had the Hitman on 94.5. He was the closest thing you would get to a DJ being on the radio out in the scene as much as he possibly could. Mm-hmm. And when I got asked to do my first show, I was like, you want me to do what now? I believe it was a Rock Angel show, and they brought Avatar down, and they asked me if I could host that. And I said, but I don't get it. What do you want me to do? No, just, introduce the bands. All right, cool. And I did, and just after that, I never not got a phone call. So, which is really cool. And I feel more of who I really am on a stage with a microphone in my hand. Being able to talk to the crowd, whether they like me or not, I've always felt more comfortable on stage in front of people. Now, as the years, which is weird because as the years have gone by, like the radio personality thing is kind of, maybe picked up and people know my name, and now I'm almost scared, and I criticize everything that I do and I hate every performance that I do. And I'm like, dude, all you're doing is just introducing, maybe keeping like a flow going, some information at the bar. Like, you're not doing anything that like life depends on. But I'm constantly like, I tell my girlfriend all the time, man, I don't know if that was good or not. She's like, no, babe, it sounded good. Don't worry about it. I was like, yeah, but I don't know. She's like, oh my God, you're just so difficult. I don't do this. I get paid sometimes. Sometimes I don't. I do stuff because I just want to be at shows. I'm like, dude,
definitely.
Just cover like a bucket maybe and like my ticket, and I'm totally there.
Wow, man. Yeah. I think like 26 years of my life, I didn't know what I was going to do, where I wanted to go and stuff. And then, I gave my life to Christ, and I just started discovering more of myself. And then this is actually the second talk show that I'm doing. Right now I have one talk show with my church that I do and stuff like that. And I started, seeing like, hey, man, like this comes natural. So when I had the concept of doing the show back when I started throwing shows again, I was, now you fast forward, 2.5 years later, now it's like, okay, let's try this out now. Let's just go and just talk to people. And, one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I put out there was like, yes, I am a believer, I am a Christian, but doesn't mean I'm just going to, for this talk show specifically, I'm not just going to focus just on Christian or believers. Like, I want to reach out everybody. So I know if you guys follow me on Facebook, I'm sure you see everything that I post, with my walk with the Lord, but doesn't mean that I'm going to, cast out any secular bands
you really
or anything.
Can't. If you want to be relevant, you really can't. Like the other day, I was walking downtown and I thought I was being trolled by this guy. I can't even remember his name right now. Jesse Castellanos, I think. I don't know. He has a show, and what he did was on Twitter, he went downtown and just asked people what they thought about voting. And he came up to me and he was like, "You're Vinny D, man," and I was like, yeah, cool. And there's a guy with a camera and he had a microphone, and I was like, what the hell is this? And he goes, can you discuss your political views, man, on this video? And I went, you know what, I'd rather not. Yeah. Because it really, like, to me, I'm the worst person to ask what you think about politics, because I will tell you straight up, I think it's teaching hate. It's teaching to hate the other person. And that's just strictly all it is. And I just will not say I'm for this guy, because if this guy over here for the red or for the blue doesn't like that I'm for the red or for the blue, wants to hire me for a gig, but says, oh, well, I saw him on a video, you know what, screw that guy. Just because of my political views, and it happens, man. You cannot state a position on anything. And I do most of the times, but nothing that, is going to make me lose a job kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, you did say something that it's kind of like, bringing up hate and stuff like that along it. And I think one thing that it's really done is cause like a big line of division.
It's only getting worse, man. People talk about being people being racist and stuff like that. It's like, well, you're political, so that's almost like kind of the same thing. To me, in my eyes anyway, I've got to teach my daughter not to be that radical person that says, oh, well, like, just for example, this Bethel Ted Cruz thing, or even for President Trump. I see people make memes of, for example, this one sticks in my mind constantly. This guy posted a meme of a dude jumping off of a building and like photoshopped Trump's head onto it and says, what would you say? And I clicked on it and I wanted to see what people posted. Jump, motherfucker. Fuck you. Hope you take all the rest of the people. Like, they want this guy to die. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. Really? So that's just like, it's not for me, man.
Yeah, it's gotten, out there. I'll voice my opinion, and then when someone tells me something like, look, man, like, I'm not here to argue or to debate. Yeah. You got your beliefs, I got mine. But at the end of the day, like, I'm gonna respect you, even if we have different beliefs. Absolutely. I'm gonna respect you and treat you.
It's so immature not to be like that.
Yeah. So let's get away from the politics.
And that's why I'm saying it's hard to state like because that's how it grows and grows and grows, and then sure enough, someone's gonna see this and be like, oh, well, we didn't state an opinion.
We didn't state an opinion this time.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I will never.
We'll never. But
that's how hardcore it can get.
And it's gotten really bad, man. But I think
why I do music.
That's why we do music, and but I think doing things like this, you know, just to show that, like, look, we want to do something for the community, regardless of what you believe or what you're doing. Like, let's just get together. Let's just, you know, have a good time. You know, put everything aside, put all that aside, and let's just do it just for, you know, being a good person and just loving each other.
And because we're neighbors, we live here in the RJV. Yeah.
Yeah, we do, man.
Yeah, man.
Man, dude, I think that's all I got for today, man.
Dude, I had an absolute blast sitting here, man. We took up a really cool conference room. I've never been in here before.
Yeah, I kind of was a little like, okay, where are we going to do this? And then, you know, thankfully the people in, you know, this place, they allowed us to do it in here.
They're great.
Super cool people.
Here at the GMAR, yeah.
So, you got anything else, man, before you...
Go ahead and give a like to Vinny DMC Services. That's how you can get in contact with me to host an event or private party. You just want to throw tomatoes at me, that'd be cool too, whatever. I know that's probably like an old school thing, right? Throwing tomatoes. Give a like to rgvtitanradio.com. Go take a listen. We're streaming right now. And absolutely, Unscripted. Give Unscripted a like. You're Unscripted on Facebook as...
Yeah, well...
I just liked your page a little bit.
Yeah, Unscripted Talk Show. Twitter is the same thing, Unscripted Talk Show. And then on YouTube, right now... I guess you can only change your YouTube name so often, so it's not allowing me. It still has just my name, which is JJ Rivera 0821. Okay. But I'm in the process of changing that and stuff. I'm gonna have to apply, put in a submit for the request. But yeah, Unscripted. You can find me on pretty much any.
Totally digging it.
Any social media outlet and stuff like that.
You gotta be on them all.
I did the first 3 episodes just with YouTube.
That's
and
cool.
then I was like, I think I need to do the Facebook. I got to do the Instagram. I got to do it all.
Tag me up in this, and I'm so happy to be number 4.
Yeah, this is episode 4, and I think this first season we're gonna do 10 episodes, and then I'm gonna take a break for a little bit, and then record another 10 more. And
I
then
wish you only the best. I'm totally behind you, 100%.
Dude, honestly, like, means a lot to have your support, and a lot of people, man. Like when I went live on the Facebook and I was talking about this. A lot of people from the music scene were like, dude, like, this is awesome. And, I just want to do this for, for the bands or for the local business owners or people that are involved in the community that are doing something. We all love
recognition.
Yeah, just to, pretty much sit down, talk, and let's see what's going on in our lives, man.
Spill the beans.
Definitely, man.
Had a good time.
Thank you so much, guys. So this is it, Unscripted with Vinny D. We thank you guys for watching. We'll see you later.